It's Nolan.
Yeah, promise my family I got 'em. I told them no worries, Hakuna Matata, yeah. Eating like Jeffrey Dahmer, the goal is stay fresh cause the devil wear Prada, yeah. Look at me minding my business, smile and shout out to my dentist. Used to walk around with the grimace, I made it a line, now I'm dropping my limits. Running from cops in the past, my homie said diesel, we drop it and dash. Focus my energy, don't see no enemies, only the friends of me come to my bad. Got on my side, prayers went up when I thought I would die. Nobody called, it was hurting my pride. Whatever my nigga, I'm raising the price, yeah. Fresh and local, I'm the illest smoker, I've been flipping styles, talking Michinoku, never brag about boasting, this is working the dog. Behind the scenes, niggas hurting the art. Never drink and I'm never smoking, niggas lip sync like it's karaoke. They do anything to obtain a rollie. I've been learning the mess of the ceremony, like yo, niggas be diving no reason. Bless them, nobody been sneezing. Blowing straight out of the freezer. My mama been struggling, I'm trying to appease her. Bringing everything from the grassroots, when you do your thing that you ever let them trash you. Niggas in the city might pass you, but I'm still making moves international. Travel the eye like it's Walmart, thumbing through paper like Hallmark. Flies a monarch, glide like a golf cart. Now I got them jetty like a Pop-Tart. Lot of false starts, but I'm back, nigga. Got the whole city on my back, nigga. Swinging back, nigga, like it's badminton. Now the whole team shit, I'm back with them like,
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody doing well out there. Now, as y'all know, J. Cole has been a hot topic for the last couple weeks in hip-hop. Unfortunately, he did put out his last single, Port Antonio. It's been met with mixed reviews. Everybody seems to acknowledge that the rapping is good. However, people do have mixed reviews about the content of the raps in the second verse, what his intentions were, what did he mean, what was this over here, all of those things, right? I've already said my piece on that record. You know what I'm saying? I liked it a lot. I thought that, Cole represented himself well. I also felt like his description of the situation with the beef between Kendrick and Drake and, his third party that got canceled mid-battle. I felt his account of the situation was pretty accurate. It was in line with what we had already seen from Dreamville Fest when he did the apology on stage, like a day or two after dropping, 7-minute drill. However, the grander scheme of hip hop is not accepting it the same way that I am, and I'm not expecting everybody to see my perspective. I've only been offering my perspective to try to offer another way of looking at it. And, I even said, hey, if niggas don't want to accept Cole, being boastful in his raps, he may have to go ahead and just drop the fall off and dip. He's been alluding to retiring for over 10 years anyway, ever since right before Forest Hill Drive, 2014 dropped. You know what I'm saying? He was already doing what was that fucking collab he did with Earth Gang and them. Can't call it, I can't call it. He was ideating suicide on that song. You know what I'm saying? So he's been dealing with some other shit, right, for a while. So taking all of those things into account, yeah, it might be time for Cole to walk away and bow out gracefully and allow his legacy to be what it is, right? I've already stated my piece on that. Now, after putting that video out, I got a lot of comments of people talking about Wayno and his his perspective of the situation. He was on the ground at Dreamville. I do know that as a fact because I was tuned into the Dreamville Fest via the Amazon stream. So of course I did see him there as a on the spot correspondent, and he talked about his conversations behind the scenes with some of the Dreamville folks. I'm gonna pull that up in just a few minutes. A couple other folks told me to check out Glasses Malone and the No Ceilings podcast and get his perspective of things because, of course, Glasses Malone is a West Coast artist. He's from LA, from Watts. I think he spent some time in Compton as well. Some people out there do look at him as Kendrick Lamar's OG. Kendrick Lamar does have songs shouting him out as an OG. And they've, had a good relationship over the years. Excuse me. So he's got some things that he wanted to get off of his chest regarding the J. Cole record and just J. Cole's presence in hip hop, or specifically J. Cole's presence in how he talks on records, you know what I'm saying, while ducking the smoke. So we're going to pull that up as well to get a little bit of perspective from that side of the coin. And then we've also got official TDE representatives MacWap and Keem, who have been around Kendrick for many years, right? Kendrick was signed to TDE. So all of these people went through their developmental years, late teens, going into their 30s, like they were all around each other growing up, and of course have very close relationships. And they were also talking about the situation and were wondering what it was from J. Cole and Dreamville's side. They had some feelings. Most specifically, Keem, and this is not Baby Keem, we're talking about Keem, who's an executive at TDE, had some feelings about what Wayno had to say with the guys at Dreamville allegedly throwing shots at Kendrick and the TDE roster, right? So we're going to cover all of those things in this video. And what I want to do is try to take each perspective, because these are people that know these people, for one, have been around them, and have had the opportunity to, at bare minimum, be in their presence or be somewhat around them after all of this transpired. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take what I believe and compare it to what they believe. And then I'm going to also try to balance it out, because I believe that these people are also close to the situation. So there is also an emotional investment, whereas I'm not, right? Just to see where any consistencies are and inconsistencies. And the overall synopsis that I'm understanding from people is that they feel like J. Cole and Dreamville been hating all along behind the scenes, and that he's been harboring some harsh feelings or some sort of aggression towards Kendrick prior to all of this taking place. All right. So just setting the stage for y'all, because this seems like a necessary conversation. There's a lot of debates going on. There's a lot of people that disagree with me. A lot of people that did agree with me, or at least appreciated my perspective on the situation. So let's dig in, right? First up, we're gonna pull up Wayno, because again, he was at Dreamville Fest. He was covering the event. He was backstage, and he said that he had some, side conversations with people from Dreamville, and he was a little shocked at some of what they had to say. All right, so let's go ahead and pull him up first.
A lot of good feelings, you know what I mean? We had fun there. But y'all Dreamville niggas, man, y'all gas Cole up. Because listen, I was having sideline conversations with a lot of the homies, and a lot of my Dreamville homies was basically saying that Kendrick was, that he's overrated, and that what has he done? And I'm like, yo, are y'all serious? So all this camaraderie that y'all made it seem like with the TDE and Dreamville and how they was locked in and this, that, and the third, this is all fake. And it bugged me out, because I couldn't believe that at the point that it's one thing to say, okay, Kendrick then says something, we gonna rap at him, but it's another thing for like the homies around, that's around Cole to be saying shit like, yeah, man, like he ain't never, or he ain't this, or don't nobody listen to that. And I'm like, yo, y'all dead serious? So I always took that stance. And this is, when I said what I said, this was before J. Cole did his apology.
All right. So that's Wayno's account, and I'm trusting that Wayno's telling the truth. I don't think he would come out here and just tell blatant lies on his podcast. He's been doing a good job of, giving his insight, giving his perspective, giving his overview of how the game goes as somebody who's been in it for a long time. Wayno originates from Rockefeller, that time period, working with the Young Guns and all of them at the height of their career, and Freeways and Beanie. He spent a lot of time around those guys. So he's somebody who's been in the industry a very long time. He's now working with QC, et cetera, Amazon, the list goes on, right? So what I'm not understanding, and again, I look at everything not only from a hip hop perspective, but from a human perspective. I think sometimes that may be like the missing element in a lot of these conversations. That's just how I see it. That's how I view it. Is let's look at this from a human standpoint, right? Dreamville, they are signed to J. Cole, right? So when they go out on the road, they make money, they put albums out. Yes, they may be signed to another label. Some of them are signed to Sony, Columbia, wherever, Interscope, wherever that may be. But it's brokered through Dreamville, J. Cole personally discovered these artists. And he's the one that's opening up the opportunity for them to go and get a secondary deal and have their career running. So, number one, they're indebted to him off the bat because he came in and changed their lives. These are artists that were not international superstars before they signed to Dreamville. You know what I'm saying? So there is an allegiance there. So if they hear somebody jump at their boy, yeah, they're going to take his side. I don't see where you would be surprised by that, right? Now, if you want to go back to first person shooter, and we're going to address first person shooter a little deeper later with Glasses Malone, but if you want to go back to first person shooter and he says, we the big three like a star of the league, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I'm Muhammad Ali. Like, yeah, okay, you feel like you're the greatest, right? Some people deduce that down to, if it's three of us, I feel like I'm the best out of the three, right? Because he say he the greatest. Cool. But to say I feel like I'm Muhammad Ali, each of these parties always talks about how they the greatest. You can go through each of their discographies. Each one of these artists repeatedly says they're the greatest so many times. But whatever. If that's an offense, cool, take it. Give Cole the blame on that. That's fine. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. Give him the blame. So he throws out that line, right? Which could be perceived as a shot, or it could be perceived as a nod, or it could be perceived as we the top three, but I think I'm the one. You know what I mean? Whatever. So then months later, we get Kendrick Lamar jumps out with like that. Fuck the big three, nigga, it's just big me. Right? So he takes Cole's line and says, fuck that shit that you talking about. It's all about me. Okay? From that point, I'm sure a lot of folks, but let's just look at Dreamville as a collective. I don't think they expected for Kendrick to jump out and say that, right? It was unexpected. Took the entire industry, the entire fan base, the entire listenership, took everybody by surprise because we did not know what that was about to be. And I think the original We Don't Trust You track list with the features was hidden, so we had to find out who was on there as you played the songs that first night. So to hear Kendrick just pop out, not knowing he was going to be on there, and that's the way that he's taking it, and say, fuck the big three, nigga, it's just big me, nigga, bum. You know what I'm saying? Then he come back and throw another shot. First person shooter, I hope they came with 3 switches. You know what I'm saying? So that's another one, boom. I'm still on your head about that song. Just in case you didn't know I was talking about that song, I'm talking about that song, right? I'm really like that. Your best work was a light pack. You know what I'm saying? Whoever they want to talk, you know what I mean? I would assume that's at Drake. But whatever. For all your dogs getting buried, it's okay with all these knives, you're going to need Pet Cemetery. Blah, blah, blah. Right? And I'm not saying blah, blah, blah like I don't like the shit. It was dope. Kendrick's my favorite out of the 3. Whatever. So Dreamville, I would assume, is taking it back. Oh, wow. Damn. When we played when he made first person shooter, it wasn't really a diss. It wasn't a shot. It was just slick. You know what I'm saying? Him putting himself, I'm talking from the perspective of somebody signed to Dreamville. I'm not, but just looking at it from the crew. Damn, I ain't know you was going, what? Damn. Fuck the big three niggas, just be me. Okay, so really you basically saying, fuck you other 2 niggas. So now, don't look at it from a perspective of they on the outside looking in like us. They're on the inside looking out. Like, damn, you coming at my boy? Nah, fuck that. That nigga ain't really, you know what I'm saying? All of their personal feelings, we know that them niggas love Kendrick Lamar. But when you put somebody on that pedestal and then they shoot at your folks, you gonna say, man, fuck all that nice shit. Nah, that nigga overrated. You gonna say a bunch of shit you don't mean because you're siding with your boy. So when Wayno has these conversations with Dreamville, we're coming fresh off Might Delete Later coming out. 7-minute drill. All of that is in the air. It's out. People done listened to it, consumed it. Everybody's breaking it down. Over here inside the industry, I'm over here like, nah, Cole, that wasn't it. I will never say that 7-minute drill was a dope diss record. A lot of people told me they felt it was better than what I thought. I said it wasn't good. I said it was mid from the jump. So I'm not caping for Cole on 7-minute drill. I said that shit was weak. I'm not no I'm gonna shoot at you with my eyes teary type of nigga. That's just not me. Right? But if I'm looking at it from Dreamville perspective, yeah, Cole, get that nigga. I don't give a fuck if you gotta shoot that nigga with your eyes running, nigga. Run it. We'll get you some motherfucking Bill Stein, you know what I'm saying, clear eyes afterwards, nigga. We you know what I'm saying? We'll still go to the nigga funeral, but burn that nigga if I'm signed to J. Cole. Wayne will come up, man, what y'all thinking about this shit, man? Your Kendrick coming at you, man. Your boy done responded. Man, fuck that nigga. If I'm signed to J. Cole. Fuck him. We on his ass. And if them other TDE niggas want to get in, we gonna get in too. Fuck it. We hopping on these tracks, nigga. They overrated. Reason, he popped off coming to our sessions, right? Because if you look at Reason, right, he was one of TDE's latest investments. You see, he wasn't even really received well over there. He went to J. Cole Dreamville sessions and got on Revenge of the Dreamers 3 and got way more attention on that project than he ever did from TDE. He got it from Dreamville. Look at Buddy, California artist. He's not signed to TDE. He's not really, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure he's affiliated, but not signed. He got a lot of attention in them Dreamville sessions, coming from the West Coast, coming to Atlanta to record. A lot of attention, a lot of opportunities, a lot of different things came into his circumference after working with Dreamville. Right? Just looking at the collective energy of the situation. It's niggas from y'all side that gotta come over here and fuck with us to get they shots. Right? So that's how I look at it when Wayno is talking to the Dreamville folks and they kind of downplaying what they're seeing from the other side. That's what they're supposed to do because they're protecting the interests of their homie. Now, with that being said, he says that now we're going to get into MacWop and them, right? Because they're responding to what Wayno says. So MacWop and King from TDE.
Get at that nigga, man.
He got at, and I think he will.
He might send some little subtle shots, but
so here y'all see, I gotta pause it. They're alluding to the fact that on Kendrick's next project, next album, whatever he has in a pipeline, Kendrick is about to start responding in kind to J. Cole and giving him some more taps on the jaw. Like, okay, you jumped out with this Port Antonio. Because remember, a lot of people are taking that bot talk. I do not believe that the bot talk that J. Cole is throwing out there was aimed at Kendrick. I'm standing on that. But the collective has pretty much accepted that when J. Cole talked about bots, clicks, and views, they're perceiving that he's talking about Kendrick Lamar wanting to beef for attention and using bots to run his music up. I believe that's not the case, but we all interpret things differently, right? So based on that, and based on people saying you threw a shot and hit your hand, and then you want to act like you're above it, Kendrick ain't receiving it positively. That's what they're saying. And they know Kendrick, and, you know, we'll see how it goes. But I know that cut came at a weird part in their conversation, so I just want to let y'all know that's what they're saying. They're expecting Kendrick to have some responses for Cole on this next project.
Dot not about to get at this nigga with all fatalities like he got at Drake. Like, cause Cole really the homie for real. You get what I'm saying?
All right, cool. This is the whole point of 7 minutes, nigga. Fuck, I say to you that much in this record when you want to. You had 7 minutes worth of shit held up, homie. Like you said, really the
homie.
And as you can see, Keem never really fully listened to the song. He still think it's 7 minutes. 7-minute drill was 3 minutes, man. It was a 7-minute drill, as in he took 7 minutes to write it. Do I think Cole really wrote that whole 7-minute drill in 7 minutes? Fuck no. But it was one of those drills, and we had already been hearing about Cole doing those drills in his documentary and all of these different things. This is something that was common. I won't say common knowledge, but it was knowledge known for hip hop heads and people that were following the J. Cole story, that he was challenging himself to get better as an MC, which means he was giving himself, a short amount of time to come up with dope bars, right? So then he does a 7-minute drill, because then you're doing play on words, because now we're looking at drill as in, drill like you drilling on niggas. Like, oh, I got 7 minutes, I'm bombing on niggas, right? You could say it that way, but it's not a 7-minute song. I actually wish it would have been a 7-minute song and he would have just aired it out, especially the way that shit is looking today. And again, I'm a bigger Kendrick fan than Cole. But if I'd have known that everything was going to play out the way it was, I kind of wish Cole would have went the whole 7 minutes and got everything he needed to say out. And then we could have figured out what the next step was, whether he was going to stay in it or if he was just going to be like, I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like, unfortunately, him trying to take the road of apology and trying to take the road of like preserving his mental health is not respected. So he might as well have just stood on it. You know what I'm saying? Hindsight is a bitch though. But I'm going to let these niggas finish though. I'm going to let them get their shit off. But I just wanted to point that out. 7-minute drill, we all know is not a 7-minute song. But for whatever reason, Keem believes it is.
Like, you really
That wasn't nothing though. That was just rapper shit. It wasn't like
cool. That's what I'm saying.
Cole. We ain't on that right now,
Listen to
nigga.
that again? You want to listen to that again, nigga? Nigga, it's not just rapper shit. He was saying,
It wasn't nothing, man. That was light shit, man. That's
I'm telling you,
bad
it don't
shit.
matter. It was festered up.
I hear you. It wasn't. That don't sound like nothing festered up. That just sound like a nigga just writing raps. You get what I'm saying? As opposed
If it
to,
was festered up, he wouldn't apologize.
yeah, it wasn't no festered up emotions in that
You
record.
know what I'm
Like,
saying?
No.
If it was festered up, he would have stood on what he was saying.
for real.
Just left it up.
That was rapper shit, bro.
I don't think that was festered up.
Nah, it ain't festered up. I was gonna have Punch pull up today, so I wish we would have had this convo while this nigga was here, but I didn't want to be.
It's okay. Nah, you got to peep this too, though. I'm going to listen to Wayno. Shout out Wayno.
Shout out Wayno, man.
I forget the name of his podcast right now, though. But I'm listening to what he's saying, and like he had a stance on the situation. And he was bringing up how he did like the last couple of the Dreamvilles, whatever, right?
Yeah, the Dreamville Festival.
And everything out there when we was out there this last time. But he was saying like behind the scenes with the Dreamville niggas, the one, whoever, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you're talking about Cole per se. I don't think he is. But the Dreamville as a squad, that these niggas got so much down, like shit to talk about the camp, like, you know what I mean? So that was interesting to me.
I mean, because that's kind of like their, not peers, but you feel me? That's
Yeah, I
like
mean, you got
rival
talk shit,
kinda.
nigga. It's cool, it's lovely, it's good. Shit cool.
It's
Shit
cool, but it's still like
and
a
it's good
rival, though,
relationships
kinda.
across the board and everything. I'm just telling you, I'm saying, that's not even saying like I'm taking that all the way face value, but
Wait, he said, what he was saying?
that he didn't have like a lot of like conversation, like going back and forth with these niggas and how they be.
And they saying they got coffins for us?
I ain't gonna say coffins, not like just down talk, you know, like, you know.
Wait, speaking on us?
Niggas like these niggas not talk, you know, whatever. Just talking about the artists and shit, not saying us, but.
That the artist is trash?
Greenville.
Saying that the artist is trash.
This is what Wayno's saying.
That the artist is trash.
He's saying the camp. He's saying TDE, so I'm just saying, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
taking it as they having music conversations.
Okay, and saying
You know what I'm
that.
saying? So I'm just saying that threw me off when hearing him say that. Like, I didn't think that would be a take. You know what I mean? Like, that would be something like to where he would even say it. Like, not saying he wrong for saying anything.
Now, the reason why I look at this so differently, and maybe I can see all sides of the situation, right? Because when the shit was popping at the height of the battle, after J. Cole had got out the way or whatever, Magwat was very vocal. Magwat was streaming He was playing all the diss songs. He was getting into the history between between Drake and Kendrick. Like, he was being very vocal, and he was basically standing on his square to say none of these niggas could fuck with us, could fuck with the squad anyway. But I think maybe they looking at it different because they got podcasts and stuff where they actually talk about these situations on a public forum. It's not like private conversations, right? So they're willing to like get on the mic. As y'all can see, they're on the camera and the mic now discussing this. Whereas nobody from Dreamville is really out there like that. They're not the most extroverted artists in the world. You know what I'm saying? Or I won't say that they're not extroverted, but they're not the most outspoken artists, right? None of them have transitioned into podcasting. None of the executives over at Dreamville have like started their own podcast to like talk to the fans, talk to the world. And perhaps that's like a little bit of a chink in their armor of like not adapting to the new way of communication to where you could get your message out and like straighten out anything, right? Because if there's any narrative coming from TDE, if they say something that, you know, could be perceived as out of pocket or was perceived wrong, they could, in their next episode, their next upload, they could say, yeah, I'm standing on that. Or you could say, I didn't mean it like that, but this is what I meant. But if you take it like that, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. But we don't really hear from the Dreamville niggas, right? Only thing we ever heard, and I thought it was interesting when they did this, was like, who was it? Loot, I think it was. Who the other nigga that felt some type of way? It was Loot. It was Omen. I think it was them two specifically, right? They came out on Twitter and they were like under pressure with the J. Cole apology, the 7-minute drill and all that. They was feeling under pressure and niggas was clowning, right? So they jumped on Twitter and was like, yo, if niggas is feeling some type of way about the squad, it's time to close doors, right? Because certain artists that were in those Dreamville Revenge of the Dreamers 3 sessions, they were speaking on the battle and basically saying how Kendrick had one up, how 7-minute drill might not have been it. The apology was a little bit received the wrong way. So they're like, all right, we got niggas that's affiliated, niggas that done got money with us, niggas that done got a little bit of extra visibility off of what we did with y'all. The doors is closed. We not inviting niggas back, right? Fuck y'all niggas type shit. That was the energy. And they came out and said this on Twitter. But again, they don't speak in public forums very often. So they said that, and it was like the end of it. Next thing you know, we may see Eve come out and say something every now and then, but Eve doesn't like engage in drama, right? So we don't really know what Eve's stance is. And Eve is, over Dreamville with Cole. He managed Cole personally for many years. So I think the lack of communication on that side, and then Cole doesn't speak, Cole doesn't do interviews, none of these guys do interviews, as a matter of fact, which sparked another conversation as to why the top artists in our space are not going to the top publications within our space so that they could get their communicate and speak to the public, right? These guys want to act a little bit reclusive when it comes to communication. Kendrick hasn't said a motherfucking word, but if you listen to people affiliated with him, his feelings are out there. If you listen to them and take their word as the gospel. Cole, he's communicating through music. He comes out with Port Antonio and niggas is like trying to dissect his words. I think Cole, man, it's only a couple options you got, brother. You're either going to have to drop the fall off and let the fall off take its course. Do an interview. You know what I'm saying? Do a Dreamville pod. You, Eve, and whoever else, Omen or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a 3-way conversation and let it be known like where you been at, how things affected you. You know, something. Now, some people say, nah, Cole just need to let it be. There's no letting it be at this point because he's already getting a mud hole stomped in his abdomen. He's already catching a javelin in his abdomen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's over with, baby. Like, damn. Niggas is saying, fuck J. Cole. Y'all may not, but shit I'm seeing online is it's another fuck J. Cole campaign. Remember when the little niggas was on J. Cole ass 5 years ago? It's like that all over again. So I think the lack of communication and then popping out and readdressing something that people thought was a closed chapter on his part, it's like reopening the wound before it completely healed. And niggas is on his head. And as you can see, it ain't just the fans, because TDE niggas is evaluating like, damn, I didn't know they was holding these types of feelings. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about the other day. The niggas that are around the rappers, the niggas in the entourage, the niggas that hold them down, when they move, it's not just one man taking 2 steps forward. For every 2 steps he takes forward, it's probably 8 to 15 more niggas, if not more than that, taking 2 steps forward. It's a whole movement. And the niggas that standing behind or around the main nigga, they willing to do what it takes to make sure that he gets home that night. I'll crash out and spend a weekend in jail if it mean that this nigga gonna go home. I'm not saying that in terms of like violence between Cole and Kendrick. I'm just saying if it came down to it, and if it was ever a situation where that was on the table, the niggas around is gonna be like, Dot, you too important. Step back. Blow! And it's gonna be the same thing from the Dreamville niggas. Cole, stand back. Now we know Cole will throw hands. We know that much. But the niggas around are most likely gonna be like, Cole, evacuate yourself. You worth too much. If something pop off, because if you know what I mean, if it go left, niggas could get to shooting, it could get, you know what I mean? Go home. I spend the weekend in jail. I spend the night in the goddamn holding cell. Take your ass home. Right? And everybody, each crew has those people. I don't give a fuck how nice, how smiley face these niggas make appear. Everybody has that. Even Logic probably has niggas in his camp that was step and be like, dog, get out the way. Not inserting him into this conversation, just using him as an example. So when I said, think about the niggas that love these people, they're not going to be as forgiving over certain things because they looking like, nah, that's the prime objective right there. You not fucking with that. I don't give a fuck what you saying. Because at the end of the day, whether y'all niggas is friends or not, we gonna hold this nigga down. And now you see the camps are feeling that way. But when I said this stuff, niggas be like, nah, man, it's about rap. Okay, it's all about rap until it's not. It's all hip hop until the music stop. All right, cool. Let's go to Glasses Malone, because Glasses Malone got even more to say about the situation. And he's allegedly, I won't even say allegedly, but he's connected to Kendrick, right? Like I said, Kendrick has called him OG, even in some of his bars.
My issue is when you keep talking spicy, when everything you are doing is spicy. Why are you talking spicy? Okay, before the battle start, you on a first-person shooter. That starts the battle. That actually orchestrates the battle. Right? That orchestrates the battle. You talking spicy. You tired of being 2 and 3. First off, why would you say that? You know that's a competitive thing to say. You're talking competitively, right? Then you say something. You say some out of line shit. The homies hear you saying some out of line shit. So he give you a lug. You know what I'm saying? He give you a lug on like that. You don't want to play like that. This ain't what you want, Cole. This ain't what you want, Tim Duncan. It's different.
Why you got to bring big fundamentals into this?
That's big. He's that great. J. Cole is one of the greatest. He's an A+ rapper.
But big fundamentals never used to poke the bear.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not.
He was
man.
a little small shit and do shit.
Man, big fundamentals is just say shit like off the glass, good shit.
He was a little other small
young
shit.
fella.
But again, fundamentally, he is Tim Duncan. Fundamentally, right? J. Cole is nice, right? But listen, that's not the point. You make me look.
Right.
So, but you popping it, right? You popping it at another level. You can't say he not that type of rapper if you popping it. If you popping it, you that type of rapper. So then, like that, he returns the competitive lug, right? The competitive lug you asked for, and you go full-fledged missiles, guns blazing. You pull out the 7-minute drill. Then you put out the Pie song, which is really a diss, and you was slick and deviant because you wouldn't put some of his old friends on there. You wouldn't put Soul on there. You wouldn't put, you feel me, Daylight on there. See, everybody ain't an MC enough to know what you're doing. I know what you're doing when you did Pie. I hear what you're saying, nigga. I know what you're doing. Like, I get it. So you was popping it. And then you realize this ain't what I want. And you know why this ain't what you want? Because in the back of your mind, there's a chance somebody gonna say something that's devastating.
Yeah.
That's devastating. They're going to say something to you that's devastating.
Because the gloves is off. The gloves is off. It's all bare knuckle.
And so once you hit me in my face, you just say, oh man, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. And the homie, like, after you hit him in the face with the punch and you did that little dog ass, dirty ass sneak shit by dissing the homie on the song and then putting the homies on the song with your little piece of shit ass, Jay, you know what you did, nigga. I know it. You a dope nigga, so I know what you're doing.
Well, you don't think Soul and them would have knew that when they got
No, because they not tripping. His verses was on the song. He did his verse last. You know I got at the homies and asked them. Shout out to Absol, who got an amazing song that dropped today. Make sure y'all check that out. I got it Daylight. I asked the homies and they didn't hear his verse. So you did it on some chicken shit. That was really some chicken shit, Jay. Jermaine, that was chicken shit. And then once you hit the homie in his face or behind his back, like how you did it, you pulled it back. It was like, no, I'm sorry. I went on the stage. I'm sorry. Okay, really? Everybody should have called you a buster ass nigga right when it happened. Because I was some buster ass shit. You hit a nigga, then you don't want him to hit you back.
Type shit.
All right, so that's G Malone with his perspective. He say J. Cole is a buster. Piece of shit. And maybe he's saying those things in terms of hip hop perspective and street perspective, applying it to hip hop. Elsewhere in that conversation, he did give J. Cole nothing but props for being a dope MC. He said that J. Cole is a better MC than him, but he still don't respect his pen because when it was time to make collard greens, J. Cole used sugar instead of vinegar and then wants to go back and use vinegar. And I think what he means by that is, again, talking about the bots and the thirst for being first lines, which I do not, again, believe were disses, but they're perceived disses. And once the perception has changed and the perception is collectively accepted as that, it is what it is. Now let's go back to Pie, right? Because Glasses Malone brought up this Pie record featuring Absol and Daylight on it. And this is one of the reasons why I didn't feel like this was a diss, because I feel like you got to be a messy ass nigga to put Absol and Daylight on this record and come in shooting at they homie. Like, I just personally, I thought that shit, if he's really taking shots at Kendrick on this record, that's lame as fuck. And I said that when it came out. But up until this moment, I never actually accepted that it was a diss record. I saw people that said that, but I just was like, y'all gonna make me look at Cole a lot differently as a person if he's dissing with his homies on the song. Because then that's a whole nother type of energy that I don't personally condone, right? Which is why I think so many people are angry at J. Cole, because they've already accepted that certain things are what they are, and they just like, nah. Respect to everybody. I can't, like, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying nobody's wrong. I'm just giving how I see it, right? So let's go back to Pi. Let's go back to this verse, right? He says, prayer hands for the land where they spraying pellets and turning your mans to an angelic. Being and freeing them from this crammed hellish hole. The weather's cold from jealous souls that fan fellas. You know, this sound like some, now that I look at these bars, the rhyme scheme is crazy, but it's kind of on some hijinks type shit. You know what I'm saying? A little leprechaun-y. We's enveloped the things and gens and delished and fenced and embellished and embellished and fan fellish with hellish con. Yeah, I mean, hey, Cole, what's going on here? But let me get back to it. The weather's cold from jealous souls that fan fellas. I danced as well as Chris Breezy when the bullets start straying careless, right? I won't let them Swiss cheese me. Got plans that I can't fell it. Seen plenty bodies trembling, resembling Cam Reddish. So full of potential, but never given a real chance to develop. My head envelops the pen. These ain't fan letters I craft. His album dropped that was trash. I litter it like I can't spell it. So here we get into his album dropped it was trash. That could have been aimed at anybody. I mean, artists talk about your last shit dropped. I threw it like a frisbee. Like, niggas use those bars quite frequently. So I never looked at it like that had to be aimed at Kendrick Lamar. But again, the collective has accepted his album dropped. It was trash. I litter it like I can't spell it. Like I threw it away. Right? So that's one. Is you a demon, or is that demeanor for the gram? Tell us. Now that's pretty simple. Is you a demon, or is that the demeanor for the gram? Like, are you really a demon, or is you showing out for the gram? Instagram, right? But then some people, they go even further. They say, is that demeanor for the gram, as in Aubrey Graham Drake? Like, is you really a demon, or are you fronting for Drake? Tell us. They plead the fifth. I'm seeing hints of a trans fella, right? People also threw that in there. Like, hey, J. Cole threw the trans line in there because of Kendrick's My Auntie Is a Man Now. And again, some people gonna say, dog, this ain't no coincidence. Fine. It's not a coincidence, right? So in that scheme, if you look at this as a diss, there's how many bars aimed already in just that one sequence? His album was trash. Is you a demon? Or is that demeanor for the gram? Tell us. And I'm seeing hints of a trans fella. So that's 3 shots in like a 5-bar radius. Okay. In cancel culture's vicinity, he's no killer, trust me. Beneath his chosen identity, there is still a pussy. You know. Interesting. Period. Blood spilling monthly, rather weekly, as a myriad of bodies drop where bricks get karate chopped to maximize the dojo. Comprende. I wonder, will my friends make it past the pearly gate so we could kick it? But based on what they sensei, probably not. That shit is hard. But then, if you want to go and be technical, oh, he's talking about the karate chop, the dojo. He's talking about Kung Fu Kenny. Okay. Right? Hit lick after lick like a lollipop. You niggas take a lie detector polygraph or probably pop. All your lies will make the polygraph detector combust. You know my zone. I live here at the top. Right now, I'm home alone. Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone. We don't got to go there. Keep the shotty cocked in case somebody plot to rob me at his godly spot. Jermaine monstrous like that nigga off Jumanji. They know how he rock. All these bodies I done caught, I should probably stop. Now fuck that. I willingly venture into a den full of lions. Or kills on some killer, be sent to a funeral home facility to test my ability with this thrilling agenda. But it's hard to meet my match when my raps ain't really that tender. This all sounds like bravado to me. Since birth, the kid knew his worth, never wallowed in sorrow. The game he dispersed in these verses bring a gilly potential, a milli from pencils. Never will my ability cripple. Gilly potential, $1 million worth of game. Now, please hold your L like you guarding Philly's young center. Hold your L. Some people gonna say that's a shot. Joe L like Philly's young center. Hold Joe L. Joe L. Embiid like you guarding him. Okay, you could say that. Quick to leave a chick curved. It's only one of me, but I bet it's like 6 hers. And my mobile device, you feel the motive in these quotables, right? So now you talking about pimping. Cole is the nicest, but ain't shit about these vocals. Polite, hard. Focusing like bifocals while I'm walking on tight ropes from a height. You folks will only get this scope from a flight. Basically saying I'm too high up. Some people might say, oh, that's a short joke. I think it's just bravado. You folks will only get this scope from a flight. How many verse of the year this year is Cole gonna write? It's a tough verse. It did start off on some goddamn V for Vendetta shit though, almost. But you know, some people clearly Glasses Malone, and I'm sure there's others that feel like that verse was direct shots. And again, I can't say what is and what ain't, because I don't live in the mind of J. Cole. But let's just say that it is, right? And you got Absol and Daylight on that record from Kendrick's camp, people that he spent time around, TDE affiliates. Absol is signed to TDE. I could see why somebody would say, nah, nigga, fuck all that. You know? But overall, do I personally think that Cole was behind the scenes hating on Kendrick? I don't think so. I mean, their success is pretty much hand in hand. If you want to look at their careers over the span of the last 15 years, the big three from the public perception is Drake was number 1, Kendrick number 2, Cole number 3. The Cole fans would have said J. Cole probably number 1 or 2, depending on how hard of a fan they were. Me personally, I've always had Kendrick as the number 1 in terms of skill and music that I want to hear, but I've always acknowledged that Drake, you know, he had the masses in a chokehold in a way that he could just put out garbage and still be perceived as number 1. Right? So some people would say, well, J. Cole is tired of being seen as the third. Well, maybe. But again, if you look at their accomplishments outside of like the Pulitzer Prize, Cole and Kendrick are pretty much neck and neck. When they drop, they sell damn near 3, 4, 500,000 first week type shit. I think Damn might have sold 600 first week. Like, massive shit. So they all have had moments of being like the number 1 guy, then drop the album, this the new number 1 guy, then drop the album, this the new number 1 guy. So they've all like sat in those thrones and they've interchanged for like 15 years. So unless Cole is just dissatisfied with like sharing the spot, which it seems like he was pretty open to sharing the spot. The fact that J. Cole even made KOD after watching the damn tour because he saw the way that Kendrick was commanding the crowd. I don't see how he could be sitting back hating if he's sitting back learning and being like, damn, I want the crowd to respond. Let me see if I can make a more universal sound. And he's made a more universal sound over the last couple of years. Like, he was taking notes. Unless y'all just feel like J. Cole is just an undercover hater and that would be how y'all mark him as a person. You know, that's up for debate. Let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like the battle just wasn't what J. Cole wanted. I feel like Glasses Malone made a good point. He says, all right, he threw his shot out there. And then as he evaluated, and like the other narrative is, there was a warning. Like, all right, you got your shit off. But the real nukes is finna come out. You came out and you brought your little tank. And the tank, yeah, you know what I mean? You missed. But it did a little, you know what I mean? There was an explosion. You didn't blow up my headquarters, but there was an explosion. But the nukes is finna drop. So you might want to get your little tank up out the way. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to get your tank up out the way because shit is finna go down. Especially if you like, all right, some people say, well, it didn't get personal until Family Matters. It's not true. It got personal immediately. Drake push-ups, he said Whitney's name. It got personal. Right there. Who kid? Remember the original push-ups? Who kid? Whose kid is that? And then as you saw with Family Matters, he leaned into that. Whose kid is that? Is that Dave Free's son? Clearly it's not. But it got personal off the rip. And J. Cole, by the time all of this took place, he was already out the way. Niggas knew what time it was. J. Cole caught a smoke signal, I would believe, from both parties. Since he's Switzerland, I think he caught a warning from, they say Schoolboy Q. I don't know. You know what I mean? They say Schoolboy Q. And I believe he also might have even heard what Drake had in the stash. Because him and Drake, I would assume over the last few years, have had a tighter relationship than Cole and Kendrick have in terms of like being around each other and proximity and things of that nature. So, if that's the case, I think he got a warning from both sides that nigga, that 7-minute drill shit was cool, but it's going beyond rap. And he like, yo, y'all got it. Cause I don't want y'all digging into my shit. And on the other side of not wanting y'all to dig in my shit, I don't want to have to go dig in y'all shit neither. I thought this was a lyrical exchange. Nah, nigga, it's finna get digital. Okay, well, I'm gonna go analog, okay? Thank you. That's how I see it. But again, let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I know it's not in season to fuck with nobody but Kendrick Lamar. It is what it is, and it was what it was, and it will be what it will be. And to be fair, I'm riding with Kendrick at all times. You know what I'm saying? As far as who is the more listenable artist, who makes music that appeals to my ear the most. It's been that way from the jump. But in the interest of fairness, I feel like J. Cole is just not getting a fair shake. And I don't think that's cool. You know what I mean? He's done some uncool shit himself. And I understand people want to like hold him accountable for it. But what does that accountability mean? Can he no longer rap? Can he no longer rap about being the best? And if that's the case, he might as well retire because you're handicapping a nigga. So again, let me know what y'all think, man. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming, I swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.